Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of PFABG. Pretty for a black girl like me. PFABG. Pretty for a black girl like. Y'all supposed to say me. So y'all are gonna say me. You ready? We're gonna try it. Pretty for a black girl like. That's all right. So y'all gonna catch on. Y'all gonna be singing it, walking down the street. I wish you started believing that thing. You are a pretty black girl. Period. Okay, do you understand? Now guys, I'm not gonna lie to you. This is like my third time doing this. So I'm like, what? Summer Walker, over it. I'm over it. But I'm still excited to be presenting this part 2 of my dating single STD daddy issue special. And before I really get into it, because honestly I just want to go cook something and go to bed, before I really get into it, from the bottom of my heart, I really want to thank everyone who has subscribed, who's left a comment, who's texted, who's called, who sent me encouraging words and telling me how, you know, they really love the show, they really enjoy it. And you know, when I initially released the video last week, I was very nervous because I was like, you know, this is not for the weak, this kind of platform. So it really means the world to me that I feel like I can be vulnerable and share my story. And it may not be how typically may, I don't know what I'm saying. You see, you're not yourself when you're hungry. Get a Snickers. I'm not myself. I'm trying to do too much. Anyway, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. I have been crying all weekend because I've just been talking to God and myself and researching some things and receiving these encouraging, positive words has really done me like greatness. I hope y'all like my change up in the background. Let me know what y'all think. I'm a huge Solange fan. If you know, you know. If you don't, sorry to them people. Anyway, so y'all say y'all want some more, huh? Yeah. Y'all want part 2, huh? Well, okay. Here's my like mini disclaimer. I know I got all this energy from nowhere. Like I get so excited. When I do this show, I really believe that I am walking into my purpose. I feel like it's a push in the right direction. And yo, like I don't care what nobody say. I'm gonna keep on doing the show anyway. So guys, anyway, before I really get into the episode, here's my disclaimer. If you are my family, my mama, Coco, if you are under 16, do not watch this episode. It is of sexual nature and it's gonna be kind of explicit. You know, there won't be any cussing or anything, but I'm gonna be talking about some sex, and you know, your girl likes some sex. I hate to say it, I hate to sound ridiculous. All right guys, so let's get into it. We left off on part 1 with me, you know, going through my daddy issues with Danford and me beginning to kind of get back in the dating scene because I was rebelling. And let me give this little tidbit before I get into it. This particular season in my life, you know, with everything going on with Danford and me feeling like I couldn't control anything, feeling like I had been vulnerable and I've done my job and I've, you know, stepped outside my comfort zone, and you know, to be rejected or for someone to basically tell you, nah, I'm good, like from someone who brought you into this world, who's supposed to love you, right? That is a hurt that has to take time to be broken down, to actually heal from, and to actually accept it. And at that point, you know, I was just running on so much anger and so much like frustration and so much hurt that I just wanted to shut off anything. So anything that had to do with God, I was rebelling against God. I was rebelling against myself. I was rebelling against Danford in a weird kind of way, because I'm like, wow, I really put my heart out there, you know, and I was really excited. I told family, I've told certain friends, and this man was like, basically, nah, I'm good. Like, that's wild. Like, you wild, and that's wild. Like, nah. And to be told that really does something to someone like myself. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna worry about something I can control. So I started dating. I got back online dating, you name it, Tinder, Soul Swipe, Bumble. The girl was swipe left, swipe right, ding ding ding, you know, all of that. I went on a couple good dates, some not so good, some I got my feelings hurt. We won't talk about it. By a short dude. No, we won't even talk about it. But I also you know, I was trying to build my roster because sis was trying to be out here. Like, I wasn't trying to do nothing. I had started smoking weed again. I was trying to do whatever it took to get my mind off of actually dealing with my hurt. Besides going to therapy. Like, my therapist, she recommended something. I was like, okay, girl, I'm gonna do that in a month on how to heal. But I wasn't trying to do that right now. I was like, I want to be out here in these streets. Yes, I know better. But I was like, at this point, I don't care because I'm acting out of hurt, which is never the right answer to do, honestly, because you're gonna end up hurting yourself in the long run. So let's get into it. My roster. My gentleman number one, contestant number one, he was your chocolate, tall, 6'5", tattoos in the right places. He had tattoos on his arms and his back, and he had a nice personality, and he was very generous with his personality, and the sex was amazing. He introduced me to some things that I cannot come back from, friends. I'm not even gonna lie to you. My man's is out here. Whoo! Woo! Get a little warm in here, you know. Ooh, going back down memory lane. You know, going back. Ooh, he was like your chocolate, what was it, Morris Chestnut, right? So he had the traditional 9 to 5, and then his side hustle was he was trying to get like his personal training business off the ground. So my man was not only, you know, successful as far as like, you know, being financially stable with a pretty cute job. He also too was, you know, into the fitness thing. And for y'all who know me, y'all know I ain't no, you know, small little slim little thing. Your girl got some curves, got some, you know, got this thickness, got some fat, whatever you want to put it, I don't care. Still fine. And you know what, let me just, while we here, let me just slide this on in there. Big girls, do not shy away from somebody you think you cannot get. If you think, oh, he not gonna want me because I have these extra pounds, or he's into the gym, or he's into healthy living, he's not gonna be attracted to me. Kid, let me tell you what. All of my dudes was in the gym. I promise you, all of them was in the gym. Whether, you know, just the daily thing, or was it like the training thing. All of us in the gym. All of them were over 6 foot. I am 5'11". Your dreams can come true. I promise you. You can't beat God being God. Do you understand me? Alright. So he gave me the boyfriend experience. Then we have contestant number 2. He was like a guy I grew up with. We hadn't seen each other in like 5+ years. And you know, it was like that familiar kind of like being home kind of feel when we were together, even though we were like two opposites. Like I was like considered the good girl, and then he was kind of like the bad boy. Whatever. He had his own thing going to the side. He had like his own little roster. So I knew I wasn't the only one, so my feelings wasn't hurt. The sex was like, it was cool. It was cute. And then we have contestant number 3. Now contestant number 3, I was like, oh, I'm gonna try something different. I want to do something, you know, a guy a little bit older. So he was 10 years older than me. And we connected on such a level that I had not, from sexual to physical, like to emotional. Like it was just very, like, from day one meeting. And we knew what it was. It was like, we knew what it was, but we kept playing with fire on certain things. Like, oh, I'm going to, one, he was lying to me about a lot of stuff, about literally who he was and what he did. But when it came down to the bedroom, my man, he was, my man's had me, you know, in a whole nother world. He knew what he was doing, I will tell you that. And you know, me thinking he's an older guy, I'm just like, wow, he has a lot to offer as far as like life experience and all of this. But I mean, that didn't be proven to be true, but it was proven to be true when he opened his mouth. Okay, do you understand what I'm saying? Another round, another round, another round. I used to want you and him and him and him and him and him. Anyway, but me and him connected on a spiritual level too, as crazy as that sounds. I promise you, I remember I told you, like, this season I was going through was like, I don't care, like, I'm trying to run from God, I'm rebelling, you know, from myself to God, to Danford, whatever. I kid you not, me and the older guy, me and him both grew up in church. So his dad is like a whole pastor, which that seems to be a trend I've noticed in my life. Like, I'm dating guys who, like, they're PKs and like they really want to go into ministry later on, but I'm just like, God, what are you trying to tell me? Anyway, mid-stroke, one day we were having a session, mid-stroke, while he was stroking me down, stroking me down. I promise you, mid-stroke, he was like, he stopped. He was like, why are you running from God? I repeat, mid-stroke, my man stopped. And he was like, why are you running from God? And I'm like, boy, like, I was like, maybe I'm tripping. Maybe I'm just caught up in a moment and I'm hearing stuff. Like, nah. He dead ass said, like, why are you running from God? And I was just like, wow, this is ruining the moment. What is going on? And it's funny because I'm like, even when I'm trying to run and do bad, it's just like God's still in that moment, even in a sexual moment. Like, and me and him ain't married, so, you know, we know it's wrong. He still, like, has my attention. I'm just like, God. But you know what, me still trying to tune it out. I was like, I'm ignoring, I'm gonna keep doing my thing. And I feel like that was kind of a warning, but you know me, I was like, I could be very stubborn, and I have like, my ego is so big and my pride. I'm just like, whatever. I'm not trying to listen to all that. I ain't trying to talk about, like, is you trying to, you know, dude, you trying to get out here with me and lay on down and release some stress, or you trying to like have a confessional come to Jesus moment? Like, I'm not trying to do all that. So what is it? So, you know, this happened off and on with between a month. So January roll around, January is 2020. You know, I'm still thinking I'm grown, trying to be fast and grown out here, and just kind of ignore my own hurt and not deal with it. I go to the doctor for a physical, but a couple days before I go to the doctor, I noticed, like, my girl down there in my body, something off. And I mean, it's a little itchy. There was no discoloration or anything. There was no smell, but I was like, it's a little itchy and it's irritated, and this not her. Me and her are together, and you know, we were like this. I don't understand. I go to the doctor and I thought I just had a yeast infection, so I had took some medicine, 7-day medicine prior, right? It did something real cute, but it didn't really do nothing. So I go to the doctor and I'm sitting here and telling my doctor, yeah, these are the symptoms. This is the last time I had sex. She was asking me how many sexual partners I had, and that's a whole nother story. I was just like, wow, it don't sound real cute when you're trying to tell it to your doctor. But she didn't judge me. She didn't judge me. She did a pap smear, and she looked down there and she was like, oh, you either have one of two things, herpes, or you have syphilis. I said, huh? And she said it so easy, so smooth, like, oh yeah, girl. So I'm gonna send this lab in, your blood results, and I'm gonna swab like the area where you having an irritation, because I see something. I said, see something, say something, they say. She said you have herpes or you have syphilis. All right, guys, thank you for watching part 2. There's actually a part 3 that will be coming out next week, and it's going to be touching on how my STD brought me closer to God. Do I have STD? Did I not? What happened when I told the guys? Actually, one of them almost swung on me. You know, did they? No. Okay. Just wait till next week. Make sure you like, thumbs up, comment, subscribe. Thank you for watching part 2. Make sure you come back for part 3. I love y'all guys, and peace. I'm gonna go eat.